The Los Angeles Dodgers have finally made their first big addition of this offseason, bringing in starting pitcher Noah Syndergaard on a 1 year, $13 million contract with $1.5 million in incentives. Now, Noah Syndergaard was always thought of as a very talented pitcher all the way back in his draft status as a first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays, was traded to the New York Mets and spent the majority of his career there. Last year, however, he resurfaced in Major League Baseball, pitching with the LA Angels, signed a 1 year, $20 million contract, ended up getting traded at the deadline to the Philadelphia Phillies, went all the way to the World Series, nice run by Philadelphia, parlayed that into this deal with the LA Dodgers. Now, what exactly are the Dodgers getting in Noah Syndergaard? Well, obviously a lot of talent, of course, but he hasn't been able to exactly harness that in recent years. Remember, his last full season before this one pitching was 2019. Didn't pitch at all in 2020, pitched only 2 games in 21. So this is his first taste of baseball in a few years. Pitched fairly well, pitched to a 4 ERA, gave you good innings as well. But the biggest issue for him last year, anyway, was that his strikeout rate was nowhere near his career averages. Before he left baseball or was out of baseball due to injury, etc., he had a K rate around 12, or anywhere between 9 and 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Last year, right around 6 at both the LA Angels and with the Philadelphia Phillies. Going to the Dodgers, maybe they're able to figure out what exactly he did wrong. And remember, missing 2 years is nothing to sneeze at. That's something that he's going to have to deal with, try to get back into the swing of things. Maybe the analytic department of the LA Dodgers, which is second to none, by the way, and they can figure out what exactly he's doing wrong, sequence his pitches a little bit better, figure out how exactly he can strike out hitters a little bit better. The other issue with Noah Syndergaard is he gives up the long ball quite a bit. Last year he gave up quite a number of home runs. That was the issue with the Philadelphia Phillies. That's why they only had 2 starting pitchers they could really trust in the postseason, Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. They didn't really trust Noah Syndergaard. That's why he was kind of pushed from a start in the World Series. So maybe now that he goes to the Dodgers, they're able to figure out again how exactly he's giving up these home runs. Maybe he's tipping his pitches. Maybe he's not getting the right cut on a ball, something like that, and they should be able to solve those problems. I think Noah Syndergaard's going to have a nice bounce-back year for the LA Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers absolutely needed to bring in a starting pitcher this offseason. There was rumors out there they'd bring in guys like Justin Verlander, Carlos Rodon, Jacob deGrom, top-end starters. That wasn't going to happen. The reason being is they're trying to reset their luxury tax threshold anyway, to try to reset their tax rate anyway. So if they are able to cut $100 million in payroll from what their payroll was last year, they dip underneath that tax line. As long as they stay underneath that for the entire year, that resets their tax rate going forward. And next offseason, they go after the biggest free agent ever in professional sports, Shohei Ohtani. I expect that contract to get an AAV of around $50 million. They can go as high as they want next offseason for Shohei. They also have their own free agent to worry about in Julio Urias. There's some good talent out there with Rafael Devers, maybe an opt-out for Manny Machado, Max Scherzer, but the Dodgers absolutely needed to bring in some starting pitching. Why exactly is that? Well, they've let a lot of talent go out the door over the last few years. Max Scherzer, the guy they traded for from the Nationals, stuck around for a half year anyway and went on to the New York Mets. They lost their back-end closer in Kenley Jansen. He is now with his second team since leaving the Dodgers in the Boston Red Sox. They also saw Tyler Anderson, who got the qualifying offer this past offseason from the Dodgers, ended up leaving, going to the crosstown rival, the LA Angels, on a 3-year, $39 million deal, $13 million average annual value. They also saw Andrew Heaney, another starting pitcher last year for the Dodgers, leave and go to the Texas Rangers on a 2-year, $25 million deal with an opt-out after the first year. A lot of talent continues to leave. They made the trade for Brusdar Graterol a couple years ago with the Minnesota Twins and sent out Kenta Maeda. They're losing a lot of talent. You also have to consider their shortstop position. They no longer have Trey Turner there. Corey Seager isn't there either. This team has seen a lot of changes over the past few years, not to mention their former MVP, Cody Bellinger, is now with the Chicago Cubs. A lot of turnover for the Dodgers, so trying to piece it all together. The one thing the Dodgers do very well is the platoons, and as long as they still have a good platoon here or there, they should be able to string something together. This past year, their platoons didn't really play very well. They were very top-heavy as far as a lineup with Betts, Freeman, and Turner and Smith at the top. Outside of that, they didn't really get much production. They ended up cutting Justin Turner, trying to save the money anyway, declining that club option, and maybe there's a reunion in the future for him. But as far as the starting rotation is concerned, they had to make a move there. Their starting rotation right now consists of Julio Urias and Clayton Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin. Those are probably your 1, 2, 3 right now. Noah Syndergaard probably slides in as your number 4. If Walker Buehler is healthy, he easily slides in there as well. And then you have Dustin May. Outside of that, their rotation options are very slim because of those exoduses. I didn't even mention that they traded away Mitch White at the trade deadline to the Toronto Blue Jays. So again, more depth out of that starting rotation and onto other rosters. So they need to still add another starting pitcher or at least a long reliever, in my opinion, someone in the line of an Andrew Heaney and a reclamation project that they see something in that they can get something out of. Speaking specifically of Tyler Anderson, he was a 4.5 ERA pitcher for over 5 years before last season with the LA Dodgers. He pitched a 2.59 ERA, showed exactly what he could be capable of, and that parlayed that success that he had with the Dodgers into that 3-year deal with the Angels. I think Noah Syndergaard sees himself in a very similar situation. Andrew Heaney last year, while he only pitched 72 innings, had injuries. His career numbers well north of 4.5, I believe, for ERA. And then this past year, pitched to a 3.12 earned run average. Strikeout numbers went through the roof. Again, Noah Syndergaard sees that and says, hey, I have issues with my strikeouts. This is exactly the type of situation I can go into. They can figure out what's going on with me, figure out what I can do a little bit better, and I can parlay this year, this 1-year contract, into a multi-year contract next year, maybe a $20 million contract in average annual value over 3 years. That'd be a great deal for Noah Syndergaard, who's only 30 years old as he goes into this coming season. That's a great young age anyway for a free agent starting pitcher. We just saw 39-year-old Justin Verlander get a couple-year deal for $86.6 million. That's a $43.3 million average annual value. Jacob deGrom, 34 years, got $37 million average annual value for 5 years at $185 million. Carlos Rodon, about the same age as Noah Syndergaard, just got 6 years, $162 million. There's plenty of money out there for good starting pitching, and if he hits the market next offseason after a successful year with the Dodgers, you're looking at one of the better free agents in next year's class. We'll see where he ends up going next offseason, but for the Dodgers, this is a great option for them, kind of a buy low candidate. They can go in and slide into that rotation, should be able to eat some consistent innings anyway as long as he stays healthy. And as long as they're able to improve those strikeout numbers and decrease that home run rate, they could really have a success story on their hands without having to exceed their budget and go above that tax threshold that they're really trying to reset as they chase down guys like Shohei Ohtani and the other top free agents of next year's class. Let us know in the comment section what you think of Noah Syndergaard joining the LA Dodgers. Do you think this is the right thing for that rotation? Do you think they should have said the heck with it and gone above the tax and gone after guys like Verlander, like deGrom, like Rodon? Or do you think they shouldn't have signed Syndergaard or any of these guys? Just save their powder. You didn't like the signing of Syndergaard. You think guys like Nate Eovaldi might be better? Let us know that in the comment section as well. But as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button on this video. It really does help us out. Thank you guys in advance. And for those of you who are just joining the upside, we cover the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, and of course Major League Baseball. We try to keep you guys up to date on everything that's happening from your favorite team. So make sure you drop us a like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.